Hello everyone, this is AAA Rattery. It is December 8th, 2015, and I'm doing a new cage build. I'm going to be building 2 cages in one this time, actually, so it's going to be a little different. But I've had so many people comment on my grottos, my homemade cages, that are so much cheaper than a store-bought cage, and they're just, you can customize them the way you want them. They're easier to clean. They're fantastic. So I've had so many people ask about them, I decided to make a video this time while I'm making one. It's going to be a little hard to do for me, but I'll try to make it work. It's probably going to need a bunch of different parts, like a few different videos, because I have to keep it under 10 minutes. But I'll see what I can do. So I'll just show you a couple of my grottos first if you haven't seen them before. So here's one here. This is my dough cage. So it's made out of a 2-door pantry. It's 5 feet by 2 feet. It's got 4 floors to it. Each floor has a hole in it with a ladder going down, so they have the use of the entire cage. My 2 little ones here, my weanling cages. They are also grottos. I bought these 2 little units from an auction for $1 each. That's Winston, you see there. And then it probably cost me about $40 total to make the 2 of these. So they're 3 feet by 3 feet, and they have 3 floors to them. This is the first one that I ever made, and it's a little bit more rough. The cuts aren't very good, but it works, and that'll probably be my first one to be replaced eventually. But same again, it's 5 feet by 2 feet, 4 floors. That one was actually pre-assembled. I was using it as a cupboard before, and I got the idea of making a grotto, and so that was the first one I tried it out on. Every other one, oh, and these 2 were pre-made because I bought them from an auction. Nobody wanted them because the backboards were falling off, but you don't need backboards for the grottos. You actually don't use them, so there you go. And so just a comparison. I'm actually going to be doing a video soon that's going to show all of my cages. It's going to show my Rattery. It's going to show all my cages. It's going to show, you know, who's in them. I'm going to be doing that soon, but just a sneak peek. This one here, probably one of my favorites right now, because it's one of the most recent ones that I built, so I knew what I was doing. Well, kind of, as good as I know anyways, and so it looks a little better because I had some trial and error there. So this cost me a total of $60. So a cage like that, 5 feet by 2 feet, 4 floors. The closest thing you're going to get to that would be a Critter Nation cage or Ferret Nation cage in size. One that size, you're looking at about $400 at the store. So just a comparison, this is my last store-bought cage, and as you can see, it's much smaller. It has like the bottom, and then it's got like 2 half shelves, so it's like it's 3 levels kind of. Much shorter, a little bit wider, but still not as much space. That one was $200, so there you go, they're a lot cheaper. This one, to take it apart and clean it, because you pretty much have to take the shelves out if you are not double jointed. To take them out and soak them, it takes a while. I mean, if I was just like a single pet owner, like if I just had like 2 or 3 in one cage, that'd be fine, but I've got a lot of cages to clean. Taking stuff apart and whatnot is just a step that I don't want. So I can spend a lot less money making homemade cages that work fantastic. And yeah. So those are the ones, and this one is what I'm going to be making this time for this video. It's a little bit, it's the same, it's still 5 feet tall, but it's still 4 floors. It's longer, the shelves are longer, and they're deeper as well. Reason I'm doing this one, it was a bit more expensive, but the reason I'm doing this one this time is because I am going to be making 2 cages out of it, so I wanted them to have as much space in each half as they could. what I'm doing with this right now, eventually I could turn it into one full cage. And I might do that actually and put the does in it so they have more space. But reason I'm doing this is because right now my weanling cages are, they're occupied. And you can see Willow there. And there's Winston over here. I don't have them with new cage mates yet, but I need these cages soon because I have a litter coming and it won't be long before they, you know, the babies will need to be separated. So I need to get them out of there. So they're going to each have a half of this for now. And then after that, when I get them accustomed to their new cage mates, then one will be in the doe cage, one will be in either junior buck or senior buck cage, and then I'll be able to make this into like a full cage. So I bought this from Canadian Tire. I usually get all of mine from Canadian Tire. The white pantries, they're almost always on sale for $40. This one was a little more expensive. It was also on sale though. Normally it's $119. I got it for $89.99. So a little bit more money, but it's got a lot more space to it, which is needed, considering they're only going to have half of the cage. So even though they're only going to have half the space of this cage, it's going to be not much different from the cages they're in right now. And since there's only one in each one, not really a big deal. They'll still have a ton of space and everything they need. So, some tools that you will need. And I'm going to say right now, I'm not good at woodworking, and I just kind of use the tools that I have. So, there might be a better way of doing things. If there is, please let me know, because I make a lot of these, and I would love to be able to improve on what I do. But for right now, this is pretty much what you'll need. So, I'll go through each one because if you're buying or using a cage that is like the cabinet itself is already set up, you won't need all this stuff. But so you'll need a power drill with at least 2 bits. One you'll need to have wide enough for your jigsaw to go into, so you have to be as wide as your jigsaw. And the other one, the same size as the screws you're using, the eyelet screws. You need a staple gun, staples. You need a pretty heavy duty one. This one is specifically for woodworking on hard surfaces. The cages, if you want to get a cage that the wood is going to be hard enough and sturdy enough that they're not going to chew through it, you're going to need to have a pretty decent stapler to also get the staples through it. So a jigsaw for cutting the doors and the holes in the shelves, and if you have little ones, a toy one to keep them busy and kind of out of your way by letting them help you. You might need a hammer. Some of these some of these cabinet types, you do need it, some you don't, so you can always, I think most of them you don't. But anyways, you need wire cutters and a screwdriver. I can't tell you what kind because every cabinet's different. Most of them are always Phillips head though. Or you can have the Phillips head bit for your power drill. You will need hardware cloth. You will need the width of the cabinet and then the height times 2. So I normally buy this stuff. It comes like it's in a big roll at the store and they just cut what I need from it. Where I normally get that, unfortunately, it only is 2 feet wide, the roll. And this is going to be, this is 3 feet wide, so I had to get some different prepackaged stuff. So I got 2 of these so that I made sure that I had the width to go across this cabinet. And then just a little bit of hardware. You might need, so eyelet screws are good for attaching ladders, and they're also good for if you put them on the bottom of the shelves of each shelf, then you have the ability to put to hang toys or hammocks, since you won't have cage bars to do that like in any other cage. So eyelet screws, they're the screws with the little the hoops at the end of them. Get a closed hoop, not just like the little picture hanging hooks, but you want like the closed circles. Some kind of locking mechanism. If you do not have children, you could just do the hook and eye latch locks, but if you have kids, this is fantastic. Get these hasps, and you'll probably want 2 of them, one for the bottom, one for the top, and that way you can put a little tiny lock on it, and you don't have to worry about your kids ever getting into the cage without supervision. So every one of my cages has these. And then the other thing, I got these because they're good, especially if you have kids, but you should always, I think, always, with any furniture, have these, especially big, tall cabinets, or in my case, cages, to anchor them to the wall. I bought a bunch because I'm going to be anchoring all of my cages to the walls, but don't buy these until after you've set it up, because if you are starting from scratch, building a cabinet or a pantry, generally one of these will come with it. So don't go out of your way to buy them until you know whether or not there's one in the kit. Oh, and duct tape. So the duct tape is used to just cover, to kind of cushion the hardware cloth and the... Sorry, I got babies fighting over there for some reason. Anyways, it's used to cushion the edges of the hardware cloth and any of the staples that might be protruding a little bit on the inside of the cage, on the doors, on the inside. So just so that they don't catch themselves on it. And we chose bacon, so we're going to have a maple bacon cage because it's a maple finish. So, yeah, as I said, I'm going to have to make a few parts, so that's the first part. And I'm going to set up the cabinet as much as I can up to the first point where you have to modify. A lot of it is just following the instructions and setting it up as you would normally set it up. And then the first modification is either going to come when the instructions tell you to put the backboard on, or when it tells you to install the first shelf. So put your cabinet together up till one of those points, whichever comes first.